Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. I am in my urban garden today and I wanted to show you what I have growing in my garden. I'm actually here to harvest a few pumpkins that are ready to be harvested. We've been having some cold weather here in Germany, so it is time to harvest some pumpkins. This is my Hams Corsa zucchini. I actually left some to ripen on the stem so that I can have seeds for next year. And this is how the plant looks. It's completely dead and there's no sense in me leaving these pumpkins on this plant. So I actually felt like taking you along as I harvest a few things in my garden. Now, this is an urban garden. You actually get a small piece to garden, to plant what you want. I have here, these are my two beds that I have. I have some ground cherries growing. I have, like I said, a zucchini. This is a Hams Kosa, I think. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. It's actually a Turkish zucchini, which is mostly used for stuffing. But because I wanted to have seeds, like I said, I allowed 3 of them to ripen on this plant. They grew really, really huge. I loved it. It's like a climbing zucchini. And if you have an opportunity to grow it, please do. I really loved this plant. I loved that it was a good producer. I harvested a lot of zucchini, which I enjoyed. And hopefully next year, I get to grow some more. So from this plant, I think I harvested a total of 9 zucchinis, which I was able to eat. And the 3 I left to mature on the plant. Now the plant has died. Like I said, the weather here in Germany has been really, really cold, and the tomatoes have also been having a bit of a problem to ripen now because of the cold. So for the plants, the pumpkin plants or the zucchini plants that have actually died, I decided to just harvest the pumpkins. At the back, I also have another Sucheta. I think I've shown you this one. I have it on my balcony. I love the Sucheta. I really love having it with shrimp, putting a bit of lemon. It's really delicious. This is another favorite of mine which never fails in my garden. From this plant, I also harvested a few Suchetas and one I left to ripen on the plant so that I can enjoy some Sucheta during the winter time. Here in front, I have some mini eggplants growing, and on the other side, I have tomatoes growing, and like I said, I have some pumpkins. This is also another plant that has died. The other pumpkins actually came out rather small. Do you have any tips to growing larger pumpkins? I love the orange pumpkin. This is the Hokkaido pumpkin, and it's really, really delicious. I actually love making a soup with it and having to add some spices and some ginger, and it's really, really nice and warm and delicious to eat in the winter time. Now, this is the other side of my 2 beds that I have in my urban garden. I have some beans that are growing. I also harvested some, but the rest that I've left to grow, I want them to actually ripen on the plant so that I can have seeds for next year. This is the rare sort of beans. I need to check the name. I think I'll tell you the name next time or next year when I'm planting, but it's a rare variety. I actually got the seeds from a member of the urban garden. You actually get seeds, rare seeds, The idea is you grow the seeds, and after you harvest, you actually need to share the seeds with another person or other people. The idea is to encourage the old, rare seed varieties to increase. And in Germany, I think almost every country is trying as much as possible to get the rare seeds that are almost extinct to increase. And this is the idea here as well. So you get the beans, you plant the bean seeds, you plant them, and when you harvest, you share your seeds with another person. And when this other person also plants their seeds, they share them with another person. So the seeds that I harvested, I am keeping them and then sharing with someone else next year. I actually got to eat some of the beans. It wasn't much because I only got a few seeds, but they're delicious. The beans is delicious, and I hope that from the seeds that I got, I can plant more for myself and get to harvest some more next year without having the pressure of having to save seeds for another person. But of course, next year I'm also saving seeds for myself. So the tomatoes, I've run, I've run crazy this year. I went on holiday, and after I came back, everything was just crazy. But now, because of too much rains, as you can see, the tomatoes have actually started to burst because it's just too much rain and too cold. And when it's rainy and cold, tomatoes, they don't like their leaves getting wet. So, of course, it's a warm, moist environment that encourages fungal diseases, and have noticed that I do have some fungal diseases on my tomato plants. But at this stage, I've really had so much. I've harvested so much, and I'm not worried. I will just let them go. Whatever happens, happens. I've already started my four crops. I've planted some beets, and when the tomatoes come to the end, I hope that I can have some beets growing, and I also plan to plant some garlic and some onions in the next few weeks. So follow me and I will show you what I'm doing in my urban garden. The tiny tomatoes that I've been harvesting, the yellow ones, are actually the Sun God Select. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. I am not really a fan of the Sun God Select. Taste wise, a little bit disappointing. I don't know why, but it is a huge producer. Like you've seen, the other tomatoes are actually, they have fruits on them, but they're not ripening because of the cold. But the Sun God Select has been producing and producing. I always have tomatoes in the garden that are ripe, and that is thanks to the Sun God Select. Do you know any other tomato variety that does well in cold, moist environments? If you do, please leave a comment so that I can try it next year. The Sun God Select, yeah, it is a good producer, but I'm not really impressed with the taste of the tomato. I hope to try something else. This is the um, Berry's Crazy Cherry in front of this tomato plant. Berry's Crazy Cherry also has a lot of tomatoes hanging, and it's also a huge producer. I'm trying to hang the tomatoes. They're actually hanging. Like I told you, I'm sure you can see from the spots on the tomatoes. It might be tomato leaf spot, I don't know, but there's a fungal disease on my tomato plants that is slowly spreading, and I'm not in a mood to start spraying with hydrogen peroxide at this point. I think I'm just leaving them to be, and I've canned a lot of tomatoes. I've had enough of the harvest, so it's fine. It's understandable with the rain and the cold, a perfect environment for fungal diseases. You actually need to take time and prune these tomatoes. The problem is I don't have time. It's a job that needs to be done, but I need to find time. So I have a kiddie pool. Now, this kiddie pool was awesome. When I was on holiday, I actually filled up some water and I've had a huge, huge success with this kiddie pool system. In this kiddie pool system, I have some paprika. This is actually a shishito paprika. I overwintered it last year and I brought it out in the garden and it has really been producing. Every time I'm in the garden, I harvest nice red shishito peppers. Of course, shishito peppers can also be harvested when they're green. You can fry them with when they're green with some garlic and they're delicious. I love having shishito peppers when they're green, but I also love them when they're nice and red. They're really delicious. You can eat them any way you like. So this is my harvest for today. I'm quite happy with it. These won't be fried. They'll be eaten raw. I actually left a pumpkin hanging because in 1 week we're going to have a soup party in the garden. Everyone comes in the garden and we make a huge pot of soup. You bring something from your garden that you've harvested and everything is thrown in the pot, and every time we do it the soup turns out amazing. It's always delicious. Look at how horrible the cucumbers look right now. We've been having night temperatures of 0 degrees, so I'm actually shocked that this cucumber is still hanging on strong. Most of the cucumbers that I have on my balcony garden have actually stopped producing and they've died because of the 0 degree temperatures. But from the kiddie pool, seems like they're still doing fine, still producing a little bit, but I know not for long. In a few weeks, this will also completely stop producing. This tomato that I have here in my kiddie pool system is the Super Sweet 100, and this is a huge, huge producer. The plant, when I had the plant, it was actually very slow when starting, and I felt okay, let me try it in the kiddie pool. If it dies, it dies. But then this plant recovered so well, and I am still getting lots and lots of red tomatoes. And next year, this is a plant that I plan on having both on my balcony and here in my urban garden. Super Sweet 100, a must have tomato. And then, of course, I love the Cherokee Pepper Tiger because of its light green color. That one is another favorite. The tomatoes taste okay. And then behind, I actually have a bottle gold. I hope I've said it correctly. This is a like a gold where you can make bottles, or yeah, in German you you say a Flaschen Kerbis, or the original name that was written on the pack when I bought it was Caveman's Gold. So I actually planned to harvest this when the plant dies down. It actually was a very, very huge plant. It actually climbed up to where the grapes were, and I have two. There's another one behind. This is from one plant. This is from one plant that is in the kiddie pool. It actually climbed up with the grapes. As you can see at the top, That's the caveman's gold. One huge plant, and it has produced two huge gourds for me, which I plan to harvest. This is my sweet potato corner. I have three 90-liter containers, and in the 90-liter containers, the three 90-liter containers actually planted sweet potatoes. And I've been enjoying, first of all, the sweet potato leaves. I love sweet potato leaves. They're nice when you fry them with some onions, some tomatoes, very delicious. Now, for the sweet potatoes, I still have to wait. Temperatures have been very discouraging currently. I planted my sweet potatoes at the end end of July, and they need more time. They need more time. Sweet potatoes need at least 5 months of growth in the ground for them to produce good fruit for you. So, despite the cold weather here in Germany, I unfortunately have to wait. I have to wait. They need another month. Then at least I will be able to harvest something. So thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel as I share with you what is happening on my balcony and in my urban garden. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.